All right, how's everybody doing? This is Jose Trujillo, world's greatest living artist. Move this right here, and I'm gonna treat you guys on how I prepare my red. Some of you guys have been looking at what I'm doing, and you guys are like, dude, how do you do that? How do you make your paints super awesome like that, super creamy and whatnot? It's very simple, guys. I soften the paint from the beginning. Okay, this is not some what do you call? This is not some secret thing. All artists do that. Not all artists, but many artists do that. And the reason why, it's because paint right out of the tube comes out very hard. So I'm going to show you one of the colors that I like to use. This is from Winsor & Newton. It's their Winton artist student grade, they call it. But those of you who are artists, you guys know that it's not really student grade. They're just trying to sucker us into selling the more expensive stuff. So here it goes. How's it going, D-Toms? Very cool stuff. So the paint out of the tube is pasty, of course. It's a paste, right? It's been sitting here for a while, you know. If you buy it online, chances are it's not been sitting for long, especially when you buy it directly from their not their website, but the big stores like Blick Art Supplies and whatnot. When you buy from Blick from the big stores, it's not going to be so hard. When you buy it from the local stores, it might be sitting there for a while. So I'm going to get some of that out, some red. Okay. And then I'm going to get some walnut oil. This is walnut oil, and I'm just going to put a little bit. Not too much. The ratio is not perfect. I'm looking for a certain consistency, and it's not like cooking. It's not always the same. The weather affects it too. If it's too hot, it'll be more runny. If it's too cold, it'll be more sticky. So it depends also. If you're painting outside, what I just recommend is to have something like this next to you. Whether you're painting inside or outside, but have something like this. One of those things that little container with your oil that artists carry around, like plein air painters and whatnot. So what I do now with a spatula like this, with a palette knife, right, is that I'll start softening it. Okay. Now I am an avid proponent of softening paint. I'm not trying to make more of it, okay? I know some people are confused and they think that I'm thinning it down to make more of it. That's not what I'm doing here. By the way, this is not how you make more of it or make it last more. The way that you really do that, it's with wax. Yes, wax. Some people don't know that. A lot of artists out there who paint very chunky, otherwise known as impasto, very chunky. You guys seen those artists out there that paint with palette knife, or you're like, how can they afford so much? They're actually mixing it with wax, right? They're mixing with wax. There's wax is not something new. Just about every artist back in the day used to use it, and they used it for different things, to create effects for different things. Different textures, right? One of my favorite artists who used it was John Singer Sargent. A lot of people don't know that, but he did use wax. I'm gonna put a little bit more because I'm looking for a certain consistency. It's something that I feel now. You know, it's in my hand now. I feel it. It used to be that by the way it looked, but it changed from time to time. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. Okay. And it's about when it stops fighting me. It's almost like a butter, but not exactly like butter. Okay, not too much, because then what happens is that I will lose control. So I'm looking to only soften it, not lose control of the paint, because once it becomes too buttery, it starts becoming runny. And I know artists who paint like that, totally cool. That's not how I like to do it. Okay? I know artists who paint this, they make it extremely, almost liquid. Almost liquid. And it's not how I like to do it. But it's totally cool, if that's your jam. I'm looking for this, look, this buttery effect. I don't want it to fight me. I want it to be able to move. If I press on it and I feel a bit of resistance, then I add more. Okay? This is softening your paints. Now notice, I didn't do it to create more. It's not to create more. You're not really getting more out of just adding a little bit of oil. You're just softening it. It's not like I mixed, I don't know, half of it oil and half of it paint or something like that. And then all of a sudden made a lot more paint. You see? And what you want to do is you want to spread it like that as you're using it. You want to spread it and then bring it back. Because you want that oil to get all inside the paint, not just in one area. And this is a little, just a little tutorial for you guys out there who are looking to paint with oils. By the way, you can do this with acrylic as well. But the thing about acrylic is that it's not going to, just a second. We're having some artboard being packaged in the other room for ship out. The thing about acrylic is that it won't last too long like this, right? Oil can last a couple of days before it creates a film. Acrylic, it'll create a film right away, so you have to use it. Whatever you're gonna mix, you're probably gonna have to end up using right away. With oil, you can leave it like that. You can leave it like this for maybe 2-3 days tops before it makes a film that it's going to be, you're actually just wasting, right? Because it's going to create a film. I'm going to show you what the film looks like, because this happens to me from time to time, especially if I'm out of the studio for a day or two or whatever, which I really don't like doing, but sometimes I have to, because I have to take care of other parts of my business. Let me show you what that film looks like. Well, it wasn't there yet. Not with the red. It didn't create much with the red. I'll show you the film with the blue probably. I have some with the blue. Yeah. Look. It starts doing this. It starts creating sort of a skin. Okay? The problem, I don't know if you can see it right here, look. The problem is that all of this is now wasted, right? It starts creating a skin. Unless you want to use it for effect or some sort of impasto or something. But it'll create a skin that now, even if you soften it, even if you mix it again, it still leaves chunks, right? Because some of it has been air dried now. So this is how I like to pre-mix. Not mix the paints, but soften the paints. Pre-mix it with oil. This is a way to just soften it and make it, I mean, it'll obey you. I know a lot of artists where I don't know if it's been months. I started doing YouTube videos, tutorials and demos. And artists have asked me, how do you make it so creamy? How do you make it so creamy? This is how I make it creamy. It's not for everyone. It really has to do a lot with your style, the way you're going to paint. And some people just don't like it. I know artists who actually want to dry it out. You know, artists who just, they don't like the consistency. They don't like how creamy it is, and they actually just want to dry it out. And they use cardboard to dry it out, believe it or not. Before they paint, they actually get a piece of cardboard, and they put the paint there so that the cardboard sucks all the oil. And, you know, that's a whole different thing, but some artists like doing that. It's not really my thing. I'm not into drying. As you can see here, I'm not into drying the paints like that. I like it runny. Not too runny, but just enough to so that it helps me, right? So that I don't want it to be fighting. I don't want the paint to fight me. I want the paint to help me. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do white with that. Okay, since you guys are like been so cool. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Join in. This is a white that I like to use. It's Soft Mixing White by Winsor & Newton. It's their Winton, I don't know, brand or whatever. Not brand, but their line, Winton. And when I use paint, I don't know if you guys seen, I don't mess around. I use the paint. I use the whole thing. These are really cool little things to have at hand. This is a tube ringer. And it's what it does is that you open it, you put it in there, right? And then you just start going like this. It saves you, people say that it saves you paint. Yes, it does. It's not for the paint that I really use it, because I use so much of it that I don't really care about saving a little bit of paint more. I mean, it's nice. Like right here, I'm going to squeeze it. Whatever it's left here, look, this is how I'm going to squeeze it. Like a toothpaste, right? It's not really for that I like to use it. I like to use it because it's not hard on your hands. And when you paint a lot, your thumbs are really, they really start messing with you. Not messing with you in a bad or anything. It just, that's where you get tired, right? The thumbs. So as you're pushing something out with your thumbs, for example, as I'm painting, I do this a lot. If you're an artist, you probably do this a lot. You're painting, and then you clean your brush. See, this movement is a constant movement, right? You're constantly doing this. A few dozen times, maybe a few hundred times a day, right? So it gets tired. That's why I like to use the ringer. And here we go. I'm going to add some oil on this. Look at the consistency of this paint right now. It's really soft. It's a soft mixing white, but it's not soft quite where I want it yet. In order to do that, I'm going to add some walnut oil. Now, you don't have to add walnut oil. I like adding walnut oil because walnut oil is just what I like to use. You know? Look at that. My palette is a glass palette. And I'm going to put together a little video for those of you who want to learn really how I do my system. It's going to be a video, and it's going to be a full tutorial. Exactly where I buy my paints, what I do, how I pre-mix them, every single paint, because I use different ratios a little bit. It's not perfect, but there are little different ratios because every paint, just about every paint, comes in a slightly different consistency. Every color. Depending also on the brands you use. Some people want to learn like my whole setup, my easel and the glass palette, where I got that and everything. So I want to put together a little demo that has everything, a full tutorial that has everything, like the store where you get it. I'll put the link in there and the whole thing. That way you guys can go, and those of you who want to can go get your setup the same way. There you go. This is walnut oil. Again, it's not cheap. It's about $100 a gallon. Some people swear by using over-the-counter walnut oil. I haven't used it anymore for business. I've used it, just to try it out, but I haven't used it for business, so I don't use it. I'm so used to using the one I buy. And I mean for business because I paint a lot. So I'm used to the consistency that it gives me. I'm used to the oil is oil, right? You would think, but some oil like alkali is different. It'll give you a whole different consistency. I don't know if at that point you might even call it viscosity. Who knows? Look at that. This is what I'm looking for, more or less. Something like this. A creamy, Even a little bit more. I'm looking for a very creamy. And what this does, it's like a gardener, right? Before you plant some seeds, you soften the dirt, right? You soften the soil. This is exactly what it is. I soften my paints so that I'm ready to paint. I don't prepare by pre-mixing, but I do prepare this way. I prepare this, look at it as preparing the soil. This is what I want to look. Look how it falls, okay? Look when it lands. It's very, very creamy. It's almost like a thick, creamy paste. Not completely like butter, but almost. Okay. I know it's important for a lot of people to see this. Well, I don't know if a lot of people, but a lot of people have asked me about it. And I think it's only fair to show that part that way you guys can see how is it that I'm able to achieve the movement of the paint, of the oil paint. Check it out. Here we go. And I use the oil to clean the palette. I'll use it to clean the brushes. I use that oil for everything. I used to use other mediums and other things, but it becomes too toxic. I don't like that stuff. You know, the paint is fine. I don't really like that stuff, so I don't use any other mediums. It's just that walnut oil, and that's it. And this is the way I like to pre-mix it. That way you guys get an idea, okay? I hope that you guys enjoy this video. It's very simple. It's a very cool thing. Try it. I don't know. If you paint with acrylics, try it with acrylics. I don't use medium for acrylics. I like to use water. So try playing with the viscosity of the acrylics with water. Try playing with it. If it's too runny, maybe, you know, the whole thing is that you have to try it. If you don't try it, you're going to be stuck in just one way of looking at it. You know, I tried different ways of mixing this. I've been painting full time for about what now? 6.5, going close to 7 years probably now. And I've tried just about everything. And this is the best, by far, the best way that I like to use it now. I don't know if it'll change, but for now, this is the way that I like to paint my oils. And it's very simple. It's not, you know, it's not complicated, but it does require some preparation. So I'll leave you guys with that. My name is Jose Trujillo. Thank you so much, guys. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.